For some enthusiasts, the only concern when discussing extreme performance summer tires are the dry lap times. The fastest tire around the track is the winner, and that's the end of the story. For the competitive autocrosser, where all that really matters is one fast lap, this point of view is completely logical. But as on-track hobbies continue to increase in popularity, we're seeing more and more consumers who want a fast tire, but aren't necessarily willing to sacrifice other attributes for those last couple tenths of a second. If your only goal is the fastest possible dry lap time, you can do that, but you're going to give up something else along the way. To evaluate the ultimate performance and varying personalities of some of the newest and best extreme performance summer tires, we rounded up the reigning champion Bridgestone Potenza RE-71R, our old friend the Dunlop Direzza Z2 Star Spec, the recently updated and new to our portfolio Falken Azenis RT615K, and the brand new Nexen N FERA SUR4 for a full comparison. Let's see what we found out. If you judge extreme performance summer tires strictly on their dry lap times, the Bridgestone Potenza RE-71R is the tire to have. It turned the fastest average lap and it received the highest subjective ratings from our testers. We've said it before, but it bears repeating. The grip on this tire is just incredible, and the steering's so millimeter precise, you can place the car exactly where you want in a turn. Now I'm driving the Dunlop Direzza Z2 Star Spec, and man, this tire has great reflexes. It absolutely dances through the slalom and just dives towards the apex. If Dunlop could bump up the ultimate traction level just a notch and not change anything else, this tire would be incredible. Now I'm driving the Falken Azenis RT615K, and this tire is just so easy to drive. It doesn't have the ultimate grip or the handling precision of the Dunlop and the Bridgestone, but those two tires, they take a lot of focus and concentration to maximize. This tire, you can overdrive it a little or underdrive it a little, and it just doesn't seem to care. It gives you about the same performance in a really wide window. Now I'm driving the Nexen N FERA SUR4, and this tire has massive grip levels. You can tell that through the sweeping turns. But it gets a little unsettled when it's time to change directions. It takes just a moment before it actually takes a set, so it's easy to get ahead of it during the rapid transitions of the slalom.
As we've learned from previous testing, the newest extreme performance summer tires give up less in the wet than past entries in the category. This time around, the tires were separated into two groups. The Bridgestone and Dunlop were tightly grouped to the top, offering confident wet grip on the track. The Nexen and Falken tires had noticeably less traction than the others, but still performed at a level that would be acceptable for daily use.
Extreme performance summer tires are highly specialized, and their singular focus on dry performance comes with trade-offs in ride quality and noise comfort. Tires from the category have earned the reputation of being stiff and loud during daily use. But if you go into it knowing what to expect and you're willing to live with the drawbacks, you're rewarded with some of the best on-road handling and steering feel you can find. The first tire I'm driving is the Bridgestone Potenza RE-71R, and even among this group, it's stiff and it's loud. But just one turn of the steering wheel though, and all that's forgiven. It's immediately responsive and there's real weight to the resistance, and the tire just gives great feedback through the steering wheel. Now I'm driving on the Dunlop Direzza Z2 Star Spec, and like the Bridgestone before it, it's stiff and it's loud. It has a very similar sound quality to the Bridgestone, but it sounds like the volume's just turned down a notch or two. The steering is similar to the Bridgestone too in that it's immediately responsive and very linear, but it's lighter and feels more fluid. Now I'm driving the car equipped with the Falken Azenis RT615K. And of this group, it's noticeably the quietest, and it just barely edges out the Nexen for the most comfortable ride. The steering feels good, but it's a little bit more relaxed and not as immediately responsive as the other tires in this test. Once you dial in a couple degrees of steering though, the effort builds nicely and it's very linear. To round out the group, I'm driving the Nexen N FERA SUR4. And the ride on this tire actually isn't bad for daily use, but the sound is another story entirely. The tread growl is so loud and so pronounced that it sounds like an off-road truck tire. The steering response is very immediate and it feels well oiled like the Dunlop does. But the effort builds in a non-linear way, so it's easy to dial in just a little bit too much steering input and then have to make a small correction to get yourself back online. For drivers who want the highest level of dry performance from a true street tire and are willing to sacrifice some day-to-day comfort to get it, an Extreme Performance summer tire is the best choice. And for such a singularly focused product group, we found a surprising variety of personalities within the tires in this test. The Bridgestone Potenza RE-71R is the fastest in this test in both our dry and wet track testing, and it provides excellent on-road handling, but it sacrifices a considerable measure of ride and noise comfort to get there. Dunlop's Direzza Z2 Star Spec relies on its precise and responsive steering to deliver objective results that are close to the Bridgestone's, and it gives up less on-road refinement to do so. The Falken Azenis RT615K is the least extreme on the street and the easiest to drive on the track, but it can't quite match the best in terms of outright performance. Nexen's N FERA SUR4 presents a good entry point to the Extreme Performance summer category. It offers a high level of lateral grip, but needs a little more development before it's competitive with the best. As we compare tires side by side, we find each one has its own personality. It's not as easy as simply choosing between good and bad. So as you view our test results, it's important to focus on your priorities and what fits best with how, where, and what you drive. And be sure to go to TireRack.com to view our full test report and to learn more about the tires featured in this test.